Hello, brothers and sisters. I once again felt called to, talk about a very big pivotal moment in my life that changed me and made me who I am. In the last video, I talked about my shadow work, which is currently, like this entire year, has just been all about that. But something that happened in 2021 leading into 2022 really changed my whole perspective on relationship, not just to, like my partner, but also to myself, and to us, obviously other people as well. But full disclosure really quick, what I'm going to be talking about is a little bit more ethical non-monogamy and not so much polyamory. I'll get into why that distinction is being made, but first let me just take it from the beginning. So story time. In 2021, I was dating someone for a year and a half. We lived together, very much in love, and it was really cool. But just like everyone else that I've ever dated, she is bisexual, and I'm a man, so there's that element, that feminine element that's missing from, her experience. And, I don't think we're meant to experience everything, but if there's an experience that you feel called to experience in your life, just because you're in a relationship with someone, or because you live with certain family members, or you have a certain friend group, just like, you shouldn't let external factors limit who you are at your core. And I noticed that right away because, thankfully she also walks a spiritual path as I do, and is committed to healing and knowing yourself better. And so when I was confronted with that truth, I didn't get defensive. I didn't think, there must be something wrong with me, or I must not be enough. It was more so, this person is missing an experience in their life. And, when she came to me with the idea of polyamory, I had to kind of sit with it. And we obviously talked about it for months before we even tried it. But I had to sit with it and not just question if this is right for me, but what is my own relationship to polyamory or ethical non-monogamy? What does it look like, really? Because as a human being, we all can actually be honest with ourselves, even if we can't with each other, that we do find multiple people attractive. We could say that someone's attractive or feel attracted to someone without having to take action. That's where the self-control comes in, and, but we could be honest with ourselves. We could be like, I'm madly in love with my partner, but, X, Y, and Z is also very attractive. Otherwise, we'd never date other people in our lives, even though in walking the monogamous path, we only date one person at a time. We have most likely dated more than one person in our lifetime. And so this is kind of just the dissolving of those separate timelines, even if you want to keep things separate. And so in my meditation sitting with this, I realized very early on, I've always been attracted to more than one person, but on a deeper level, I've always had emotional feelings for more than one person, meaning, even though I was very, very committed and loyal to one person, it wouldn't really take away from my love for someone else that might be in my life or might no longer be in my life. And, even to this day, all the people that I've dated, even though I don't have romantic feelings and an interest to rekindle anything, I do still deeply love all of them. And they made me who I am. And without those relationships, I there's so many important lessons that would have just never been learned. So I think the final boundary that I was sitting with, because I was having all these realizations like, oh, you know, like she's just missing an experience. What's my own relationship to polyamory? Realizing that on a deeper level, that I've always been emotionally polyamorous. I realized that the toughest boundary for me, and I faced this very, very early on, even before we started seeing other people, was the jealousy aspect. And this is the thing that everyone talks about. As you can tell by how I've been speaking, I'm just going to keep things as plainly as possible. This is just my experience. I'm not educated on, I've read up on stuff, but I'm not like well-versed in like all the different polyamorous, non-monogamy lore, the terminology, whatever it is. This is just my experience with this experiment and the outcomes. So, sitting with this jealousy, the hardest thing was that feeling that I was losing a part of myself in letting my partner be with someone else. Doesn't matter if it's a guy or girl, doesn't matter. Like for me, it was just like my partner being with someone else, period. That was the thing for me. It felt like a robbery. It felt like a betrayal. And then I was literally just kind of deconstructing that in my mind, like robbery, stealing. What's being stolen from me if I'm letting the person that I love and trust more than anything have absolute total freedom? Like, what is being stolen, really? So like that feeling kind of just like, oh, you know, what about betrayal? Well, the thing about polyamory and ethical non-monogamy is it really is all about, and it stresses in all the books and everything, that it's really all about communication. You can't have an ethical non-monogamous relationship without open and honest communication. And thankfully, we had the kind of relationship at the start where our communication was open and honest. And as we started dating more and more, like it just, we opened up more to each other about like tougher feelings, tougher ideas, you know, being less afraid to show the not so pleasant sides to each other, you know. And you think, you know, when you really like someone, you're going to be in the honeymoon phase for a while. And I do believe that we were, but during the honeymoon phase, we were dissolving these boundaries already. So I got lucky that for a year and a half, we were already kind of like living this life together, and kind of letting our relationship, you know, kind of just grow in the most organic, natural way possible. Nothing's forced, nothing hidden. And so ethical non-monogamy became more so about what are my boundaries and what is preventing me from being open to this experience or even trying it, really. So I think number one, having boundaries and having like, oh, it's only going to be this way or it's only going to be that way. And obviously, like, if this makes us uncomfortable, we can just stop. You know, like, I think that's the helpful thing, is that, like, you need to be on the same page about what you're doing. In the early beginning phases, we were like, okay, well, let's give this a try. And if it's too uncomfortable and it's too weird, we can literally just stop doing it and just go back to the regular monogamous thing. And also the boundaries were, in the beginning, that she would just like be dating one other girl. For me, whether or not she was dating a girl or a guy, though, like I said before, like that wasn't really a problem for me. It was just her being with someone else. And what really got me over that hump was realizing that, number one, everything that's going on in my head is a fantasy. It's a lie. It's just fear trying to keep me safe, keep me from feeling pain. But the thing is, there was nothing painful that was being done to me or to her by us being with other people, because we weren't dating people like together. Like I guess this is why I was a little bit more on the ethical non-monogamous side than the polyamory side. Like, I didn't really partake in the sharing of partners, or, you know, I'm not bisexual, so that's not a side that I needed to explore. You know, it was just such a interesting confrontation, because, like, while I'm sitting with this, like, this jealousy feeling, and I'm deconstructing all the reasons why fear wants me to feel jealous and protective and insecure in what was the most secure relationship I've ever been in to date, I just realized that, oh no, I've been wronged before, I've been cheated on before, I have some sexual trauma. So this is just my body, my fear, trying to keep me safe in a new experience where we don't know what to expect. And so, and I know this sounds, it's easier said than done, but like after meditating on that feeling for a few months and really deconstructing everything, I just continuously thanked my fear for, you know, showing up to try to keep me safe, and for all the times that it was necessary that he would do that. But I would greet him and thank him and show him the door. And, you know, eventually I got to a point where I was like, you know what? And this is truth. But my love and my connection with my partner has nothing to do with anyone else. Nothing about what we had anything to do with any of the other people that we were talking to or seeing. Therefore, nothing is being taken away. Nothing's being stolen. There is no betrayal, because we're just so open and honest with everything. Whenever we would meet someone new, or like we would be talking to someone, we would like tell each other about it, and the excitement was real. Like, I wasn't trying to be excited for my partner. I just was. And it's because I loved her and I saw her as another person. That's another thing too, is in my meditations, I got to a point where I realized that we are all just people at the end of the day. And I wasn't born dating any of the people that I've met. And they are not my property. And I've been in captive not that this was one of those situations, but I've been in captive relationships before, and almost everyone I know has been in an abusive captive relationship before. And goddamn, even if you are monogamous, you deserve all the freedom that you were born with to be fully who you are, fully express who you are. And I can only pray that you have a partner that is so trusting and secure in the relationship with you that they don't feel challenged by anybody else that comes into your life, whether they are just friends, family members, or even other romantic partners. Because what you have with this other person is special. It's special. And even if you are developing something with someone else, it's different. It's completely separate. All the things that you would think of while they're, say, okay, for example, she would go out on a date and leave. But I have music, and like I'd be at home. I'd have music, I have my spiritual practice, I have my cat. You know, I was playing Hollow Knight at the time, so I was really into Hollow Knight. Journaling. There was all these things that I like to do that now that she was kind of out exploring different relationship dynamics, I was able to finally come back to myself, because another thing that is really, really big, and I will be taking this away from my ethical non-monogamy experience and bringing it into whatever kind of relationship that I have next. Healthy decoupling. Healthy decoupling. Because my nature is, when I'm in a relationship, I want to not just be fully dedicated and loyal and everything, but I actually want to lose myself in the relationship, fully give myself, fully surrender to the other person, to the point where I have nothing. And that's not healthy. You should be coming into a relationship as a whole person already. And that's another thing that I learned from this experience. There's so many important lessons I took away from this experience, that even if I don't wind up pursuing another ethically non-monogamous relationship, I will forever take the lessons that I learned from this and just carry them with me the rest of my life, because it's changed the way that I view other people and the people that I date. You should be coming into a relationship already whole, not looking for someone to complete you. It's beautifully romantic and it feels really nice to be like, oh, you complete me and all this stuff. And I'm a poet, so I like to write, or songs, I like to write songs. So like, I really like to praise and worship the person that I'm with. But at a certain level, you need to give back to yourself. And if you're coming into a relationship looking for the other to complete you, you're not going to be able to do the same for them, because you're just looking for the return. You're not just being, you're not just there. You're not like just being yourself. And, you know, being able to give them breathing space is what makes the relationship so much more rich. Like, when we started talking to other people and seeing other people, every time we'd come together, boy, did it feel amazing. And also, like, to have that level of trust and security in a relationship, the other person feels it. Like, I know I felt it, but like, the other person really feels it. And the deepening of our love was a direct result of the deepening of our security and our communication and our trust in each other. That's the biggest thing, is trust. If you don't trust your partner, you can't do this. And usually the reason why we can't trust our partners is because we can't trust ourselves. We don't trust that we have the right intentions for ourselves and for other people, or that we even really know what we're doing. And half the time, you know, we're kind of just experimenting, figuring things out, like, so we don't really know what we're doing, but like, you know, maybe sometimes we do. And we should stop second guessing ourselves and thinking that, you know, oh, I can't do this, you know, this is not for me. And, you know, maybe it's not. I don't think one particular relationship type is the thing for anyone. And I think that you should always follow your heart. I know that for me, this was something new for me to try. I had to sit with it before even trying it in order to see what my relationship was to it. So to layer on a little bit more why this is more ethical non-monogamy than it is polyamory, my entire experience was not physical. I know that sounds crazy, because when you're polyamorous or getting into ethical non-monogamy, especially as a guy, you're thinking, oh, you know, I get to be with this person, get to be with that person. But I just felt the emotional boundaries around me dissolving, like a deepening within my friend circles, but really, like, when I met someone that I was romantically interested in, there was just like this like really cool depth. And it was just really cool to have this like emotional connection that was different from what I had with my partner. And so even though my other partners weren't physical, they were very much emotional. There was a lot of love there. And it taught me that there's different sides to me that don't really get to fully be expressed. And that's partially on me too. But, you know, like when you try to just pour everything into one person, you know, especially me, because like I'm a little bit of like a lone wolf. So like, even though, you know, I've been deepening my my friendships and my relationships and my family over the years, I'm very classically a hermit. And if I'm in a relationship, I'm like, that's it, you know, just put it all in that, which is also not really healthy. So this whole experience kind of forced me to come back to myself, just really emotionally opened me up to so much. And at the end of the day, it just made my relationship feel so much more rich and so much more meaningful. The level of trust and security in the relation. And then here's another thing too, that like my boundaries kept changing. Like originally when we started off, we were just like, oh, it's just only gonna be girls. But then when she was like meeting guys and she was interested in guys, I was already past the point of like her being with someone else. So the transition from just girls to also guys wasn't a big deal at all. And here's the reason why I never, like, I didn't have these, like in the beginning I had wild thoughts like, oh, she's just doing this, she's just doing that. Like, it's like this, like, you know, scandalous thing, is because that's just the fear. But like in reality, in truth, I knew my partner. She was this very spiritually centered person. She was very compassionate, very open, and she would only seek relationships that were deep and meaningful. And that's beautiful. Because like the thing that you would be worried about is, you know, just sleeping around with multiple people and being with, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But like in my own dynamic, you know, like I knew that all those thoughts and feelings were nonsense. And the truth is, she and what helps too, and I know that this might sound a little scary for some people, but if you're thinking about doing this, you should definitely be open entirely. Have your boundaries in the beginning, but like don't be afraid to step out of your boundaries. You're already doing it by just trying this on any level. But like, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just like really, really taken away by like the emotional weight of just having this much trust and security in a relationship. But what really helped me was getting to meet some of these other partners. And it kind of helped her as well. I think when you get to like see the person and sort of get to know them, and you see that level of respect, and you see that there's an understanding from them too, and there's nothing but love, that dissolves any of the nonsensical fears that you might have. I know that for me, you have these thoughts, you have these things that pop up, and it becomes so much harder to give into those external, like, oh, what ifs, when you know what reality is, right? Like, not only do you have a full understanding of who your partner is and how she loves, you love her, you should know. So you know what she's capable of and what she's doing, or what he is. I'm just speaking from my experience. But when you get to meet the other partners and they do nothing but show up with respect and honesty and love, there's nothing like that. There's nothing more reassuring, you know? So, you know, this relationship is something that I eventually did walk away from, not because of the polyamory, but because we were growing in different directions. There were different things that, and this is another thing too, is that with this open communication, you want to check in regularly with your partner, you know, because like you don't have to wait until there's like this weird drift or anything like that. Like, we're human beings, we're going through shit. You should be able to check in with your best friend regularly to see how they're feeling, what they're going through, you know, just decompress, let it out. you want to be a safe space for your partner. I know I want to be a safe space for my partner, and to have that in return is incredible as well. But before we started growing in different directions, we successfully deepened our relationship on a level that I didn't even think was possible with this whole non-monogamy thing. And I'm forever going to be grateful for the experience. It's made me such a more open person, not just with my partner, but also with, other people as well. And like, why can't we just be honest with each other? Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes, like, we don't want to be, like, mean or anything like that. But, like, I don't think that's what this is all about, really. This is about us being honest with ourselves. This is our life. We should be honest with ourselves. Make the hard decisions that we need to make in order to live our true lives, in order to, like, become who we're meant to become, which is just who we are. So, I hope anyone that tuned in to find out, non-monogamy, polyamory, like, what's it about? What has it done for this person? Hopefully this little rant kind of helped you figure some things out. Definitely drop a comment if there's certain things that you want to go back and forth on. I'm 100% an open book on this. I'm sure there's a few things that I missed, but I kind of just wanted to go over, like, the process, like the beginning, because it's always hardest in the beginning, and then, like, obviously the outcome, what it's done for me. It's deepened my trust. It's deepened my security. It's brought me back to myself, to where while I'm in love, living with my partner, I can find space for myself and break away, do my own thing, and then come back to it, which is such a beautiful thing. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to me.